table for the first possession of this third preseason game. First time here at Target Center. Natasha Howard getting her first touch, looking inside Mia Coffey with a strong finish. He was a post-player passing, just like she was in 2017.
Yeah, I love that. I love to see Mia Coffey using her physicality and size inside. She is going to have what I think is going to be one of her best seasons in the WNBA.
Playing only about 10 minutes per game the last two seasons in Atlanta. She was due for a breakout under head coach Cheryl Reed here in her home state. Belay will get it up to the Omaha. Stops up dime as Miles. That shot is still good. Weak side rebound to Williams. And immediately looking up ahead to Miles.
Brittany Williams always gets this team playing with so much.
I know, it looked like Olivia Miles fumbled that basketball.
You know that this is a team that can get up and down quickly.
Leading shot there for Williams for the mid-range. That's no good. Still leading 2-0. Throwing the ball up ahead, almost scoring in transition.
That was a nice reverse layup.
And so back with the basketball again, a couple stops early on. Howard has to break around that basketball. Shows up an awkward shot, doesn't get the bounce.
I think Howard still is going to have to be comfortable on the court. She hasn't been around the league very
They
long.
got tight old shoes, kid in there. She need to triple knot them.
This is what these games are for. It's just getting people on the court together, showing what they have, and nice little
Yeah, she got to triple knot those shoes. So it looks like Minnesota pretty much got their starting five in the game. That's what it outside of Nafisa Collier. So the only one they're missing is Nafisa. But right now you see Mia Coffey out there. That's what Natasha Howard is out there. Mia Coffey, Courtney Williams, Olivia Miles, and Kayla McBride. They're just missing Nafisa Collier. So the point guard right there, that's Julie Alleman. She was voted #1 point guard in Europe 2 years ago. She was drafted by the Indiana Fever, had a very good rookie year, shot over 40% from deep, was our best point guard we've ever had since Breon January and now Caitlin Clark. And the Fever traded her to the Chicago Sky because they were beginning their tanking spree. It was ridiculous. But anyway, that's Julie Alleman. Now, she's lost a step because she had a couple lower extremity injuries, but she used to be one of the most athletic guards, arguably, in the world. Belgium, she used to do jelly layups, reverses, clutch, double clutch. She could hang in the air. But to best describe her, I would say she's a taller Courtney Vandersloot with Caitlin Clark vision and Courtney Vandersloot vision, but with the athleticism of Maureen Johannes. That's how I would describe her.
Get off to Mia Coffey. He's projected inside. Up ahead to Nurse, the Canadian playing for the brand new Toronto Tempo with Brittany Sykes. He's with the fast.
Now, the player who got fouled, that's Brittany Sykes. She is the closest comp to Raven Johnson because they're both 5'9" and they both have extremely long wingspans. So Raven Johnson wingspan is listed at 6'2", 6'3". Brittany Sykes' wingspan is either the same, if not longer. On top of the fact she's really athletic. Now, she used to be more athletic than what she is now, but she messed up her knee at Syracuse. And I always tell people, if you think she's athletic now, you should have saw her at Syracuse before she got the injury. So let's go. Right, now that's one thing about Tammy Fagbenle. Her knock is that she blows layups. So what you want to see from her is that she can improve off of last season where she was more reliable, more consistent, efficient making layups. She could slash with the best of them. She could jump with the best of them. She got clutch, double clutch, and reverse layups too. It's just that she misses them. Last season with Golden State, she made more than she made with the Fever. So we're hoping she could build on that.
So it takes back over. Rye tries to turn on the Jets. Hesitates, gets inside the paint before he can go. There's a rebound to Coffey and skips away from Williams. Howard should have shaped up there.
Now, Howard just won a championship in China on Liz Cambage's team. She just got back from the WCBA. They won a championship. She got paid a lot of money. Howard makes around close to $500,000 over there, if not more. So she just won a championship. So she got back. So I don't think you can expect her to look as fresh. It's clear she has some attrition. Normally what happens is that when these players just get back, like Natasha, you're supposed to give them at least 2 weeks off. But they don't have time for that because they don't have a good roster in terms of depth. And so it's like she needs her now, and she needs to put her in preseason right now so they can start building chemistry, because the season is, what, next week? So, yeah, they got to do something.
Amazing person, and she's done an incredible job putting the team together.
Tried almost the three-point play. She's been showing some aggressive takes to begin this one. Well, number 22 for the Lynx, Chakova into the game.
There's Nia Coffey in the game as well. And so what we're seeing is the Fever so far this weekend, they're only putting out one preseason game a day. So we got this, and then tomorrow we have the Fever, and I think we got a little something on Sunday, but everyone is just getting ready for the regular season. I think next season the Fever has to make it uniform, where each team plays the exact amount of preseason games, whether that's going to be 2 or 3. You have some teams only playing 2, some teams playing 3, some teams playing 1, and that's not fair.
She has the ability to get into the paint and make something happen. Always has been able to do that.
Okay, so we also see Anastasia Kosul, which is Baby Fee. That's Baby Nafisa. So she's in the game right now. She's the biracial woman, Russian mixed with black. Her mother is absolutely gorgeous, and you can see where she get her beauty from. But she's Baby Nafisa. She can do everything like Nafisa, except she's not polished. She's not refined just yet. You could argue she's more athletic than Nafisa in terms of her vertical leap. But yeah, they call her Baby Fee. That's her right there in the corner, right here at the top. Now she's moving on to the wing. Number 7, Anastasia Kosul. So she just got back from overseas, and she won a championship too, and she won their finals MVP. So she won the MVP of the championship, and she won a championship as well. So that's all good. You know, you got 2 women on the team, Natasha and Anastasia won a championship, and then Kayla McBride was just playing with Fenerbahce. And so all of that is great. All of that is great. On top of Julie Alleman, she was on Fenerbahce as well.
Exactly.
Now that's Aaliyah Nye, number 13. She was sent over there with the expansion draft from the Aces. She didn't play overseas basketball, but what she did do was she played in Athletes Unlimited, and she was really good in Athletes Unlimited. Her only flaw was her defense. And she had a bad rookie year with defense, and she didn't improve it with Athletes Unlimited either. So Aaliyah Nye has to step that up with her defense. Her offense is there. It's just that her defense is sus, man. But she played good defense in college when she was at Illinois, when she went to Alabama. But that's college. That's not the pros. So, yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for. I don't think Marina Mabry is playing. I think they say she's not going to play. They decided to not keep her sister, Dara. And a lot of people are happy about that because it was clear nepotism. So I'm not saying that Dara doesn't deserve to be in this league. I mean, watching the first preseason game, she looked super, super lost. She didn't look like she belonged. But Dara is a good player. She really is. She's a good player. I just think she's just got to keep working at it. But the first preseason game, I was like, yeah, that chick looked like she kind of lost out there. It looked like she didn't belong. But I know what she was doing at Virginia Tech. I know what she was doing at Notre Dame. I saw her overseas, so I know it's there. But overseas isn't the WNBA. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think anyone wants nepotism running rampant in the WNBA. And that just didn't sit right with a lot of people. That didn't sit right with a lot of people, man. A lot of people are upset at the Fever right now for not getting a big and little mixed messages being sent by Justine Passat. It's kind of wild right now. But it's only preseason. They're playing 3 preseason games. They're going to work everyone out to see who they're going to keep, testing lineups and things. And then what you're going to see from Stephanie White is anywhere from 17 to 23 different screens. You're going to see 2-3 flat, 2-3 high. You're going to see 4-4-1, 5 out, traditional 1-4 flat. You're going to see floppy screens and zipper screens and down screens and back screens and UCLA screens and Iverson screens and Iverson cuts and a Princeton and 5-out motion, read and react, heavy transition. You're going to see it all from Stephanie White. The problem is that in order for her to win with this small lineup, she has to run them out of the jump. She has to run them out of the jump. And that's the only way that they're going to win these games. So anyway, let's get back to this.
Better and better. Yes, her offense has gotten better since the last time we saw her, but it's going to be fun to watch her get better on both sides of the ball.
And Coach Reeves says we feel strongly about playing her at the 4 this season. Last year, we were between 3 and 4, a small forward, power forward position. We really like her as a 4. And I think that'll be easier for her to make that adjustment, right?
All right. So what that was an away screen coming off the wing and an away screen that was set, and it was able to get an open shot for Brittany Sykes. She just missed it. Brittany Sykes isn't efficient for deep. She can make them. She's just not efficient.
Just been working on her English as well too. She took over the scrum. She was fantastic. And I was like, I love it. That's up to you. Think about how difficult that was.
All right. So that was a back screen. So what you saw in the inbound, it was a back screen in a down screen set, and she was able to get the basketball inbounded over towards the wing. But yeah, it got messed up.
4:30 to go in the first quarter here at Target Center. Preseason game number 3.
That was nice. So that was a goal stagger, right? So you saw the offensive player and Kayla McBride. It appeared that it was going to be a double stagger, but it was a goal stagger because Kayla McBride cut a little bit to the basket and received the basketball.
Help defense was there to deter us.
Once again, Courtney Williams getting the team in motion so quickly, but just a little too much on that pass.
Look how beautiful she is, y'all. That's Anastasia Kosu. If y'all see her mother, y'all gonna be like, damn, your mama look good. Her mother Russian. Her mother looks so good.
Such an amazing job of making people feel welcome. It's her energy that she brings to people and her way. And she talked about that as she around today. It was just like meeting.
All right, there go Kiki Rice, baby. That's Lexi Health. They just passed it to Tammy Fat Benley. That's Aaliyah Nye looking a little bit nervous.
That'll be one of the things that Coach Reed looks at for this game is kind of deem if it's successful, and it's the defensive side of the floor, and she wants to see that improve. And I think she's going to like some.
Yeah, she shouldn't have went all the way. She should have just pulled up. She should have pulled up and just shot it.
5 minutes left. Alcaba is fouled. She's joined on the floor by McBride, Williams, Hosu, Shekovic, and Lair. Helt is whistled for her first.
Now, the good thing about Toronto's lineup is that they have, let me see, 3 three players who can get their own shot. So Aaliyah Nye can get her own shot. Lexi Held and Kiki, all three of them can get their own shot. So that's good.
Shakova putting it on the floor. She's in attack mode. Rebound put down by Bentley. I like the move right there from Shakova. She doesn't make it, but I like that first step and her willingness to.
Yeah, the Fever miss Tammy Fag-Bentley, man. They miss her bad.
Minnesota makes another stop inside, and it's the young player, the rookie from Czechia, again on the denial. Push it down.
Yeah, the Fever missed Tammy Fag-Bentley real bad, y'all, real bad. Just so versatile. She could hit the three. You see her, she could bring the ball up the court. She's fast. She jumps high. She's athletic. She'll defend. She's tough. She plays the 50-50 game well. The Fever should have protected her. They didn't protect her, and she went to Golden State. That was wild. I couldn't believe they didn't protect her. I couldn't believe it.
The Minnesota Lynx. Just 21 years old, listed at 6'5", was playing most recently in her home country of Czechia. That will lead to 10 points per game. Just a couple practices under her belt, and only looking unraveled. I think so as well. Let's see her out there. Toronto has missed his last 7 shots from the floor.
No, that's actually good from Aaliyah Nye. Number one, you saw the hustle, her going after it, and then the fact that it went out of bounds. That's not bad because Minnesota's a transition team. If they would have got that rebound, it was all over with.
Well, so she can play the 1 or the 2. Let's see plenty of time to take her in position. In the first halves, these preseason games. Toronto usually coming in the second half. This coach Rick has split these preseason games into 2 halves, 2 games. Here's McBride.
Yeah, she beat up Lexi Held. McBride is a very physical player. Now, Kayla McBride wasn't always a perimeter player in terms of three-point shooting. Her career at Notre Dame, she was mainly known as Kobe Bryant because she used to take so many mid-range shots. She was so good at mid-range shots. But she fell in love with Steph Curry. This is when Steph Curry started to really get into these logos and these crazy threes off the dribble. And that's when Mark Jackson became his head coach and Steph Curry started to take off. And she changed her game to be more like Steph. And but at first, everyone used to call her Kobe. She used to be a master of mid-range shots, a master of them, y'all. She was known for that. She was known for her mid-range, like DeMar DeRozan or her teammate Courtney Williams, like just elite at it. Madison Booker at Texas, like, and then she wanted to be more like Steph Curry, and so she developed a great perimeter game.
So she was just rallied here in Minnesota and allowed her to get actually thousands of shots up over at Middle Clinic Square, the practice facility. She said, I had nothing else to do. I couldn't go back. Basically, couldn't finish out her season with the Lynx, and her were able to at least turn it into something productive. Well, that though, Kayla McBride taking thousands of shots makes you really happy. So we know what that's going to turn into. That's going to be wins somewhere down the line for the Lynx. Minnesota with the sub. Kosu scoring together.
Didn't I tell you about Anastasia Kosu? That's baby feet, but she's more athletic than Nafisa. That's the difference. Like, and when I say more athletic, obviously her vertical leap, and then you can see her speed. Nafisa has great balance, great contact balance, great agility, great lateral movement. There's different form. There's athleticism is more than just speed and jumping high. And Nafisa has everything except she just can't jump as high as Anastasia. And then you can argue Anastasia is faster than Nafisa. You can argue that. But they call her baby feet because she do everything just like feet. That's her right there with her arms raised. Yeah, that's baby feet right there.
12-9 is Minnesota's lead over Toronto late here in the first quarter. But, there's a lot of new faces to catch up on. You look at some familiar faces returning, including the Minnesota native being
Now, we haven't seen Dorka Juhas, so Dorka is probably going to be their 5 for Minnesota when she gets back. And Dorka was the EuroLeague MVP this year, the youngest ever at 26 years old.
Jessica Shepard, Elena Smith teaming up in Dallas with Dave Beckers and Enrique Mbawale. Natisha Heidemann got a great deal going to Seattle. Kamasha Maria Klimakova going to this team in Toronto, and then DJ Carrington to the Chicago Sky. So a lot of names no longer with this team.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a lot different, but what we know that everyone wants to see that player right there when she's healthy. Nafisa Collier, simply one of the best in the WNBA.
Man, look at those numbers, y'all. That chick is a great player. I mean, just a great player.
She's the face of this franchise, and she's the reason why people want to play here, and we're all anxiously waiting to return.
There it is. There it is.
Yes.
With the Lynx last year, it was so great for him that we were playoff run. She's really injured right now, but she's back to Minnesota.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited. I think Lynx fans will be pleased with her improvement since she last left, or since they may have watched her play, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
And don't be surprised if you start seeing Aaliyah Nye and Drake together. It wouldn't shock me if she started dating Drake. She says she loves Drake. Drake loves basketball. Expect him at a Toronto Tempo game. Her sister is dating that white dude that played for the Golden State Warriors. He's always sitting courtside at the Valkyries game. She's in a relationship with him. I'm telling you right now, do not be shocked if Aaliyah Nye starts dating Drake. Don't be shocked.
So we will find out.
Kosu at the free throw line. Minnesota leads by 2, 14 to 12 with a minute to go in the first quarter. Jalen Sherrod took it for the first time as a Sailor.
Nice high double stagger. Serious.
Coming up to a great three-point shooter in Aaliyah Nye who spent last season with Las Vegas.
It's been fun to watch Jalen Sherrod just the way she moves on the floor. Again, like another backcourt player that can just play with pace and impact games quickly. So
I don't think people understand what you've been watching in preseason is just essentially sketching. You're watching sketches. That's what you're watching. They're holding everything back. So anytime you get to see some sort of nuance, some sort of complexity, that's pretty great. But you're going to get basic screens and freestyling on offense, basic defense, freestyling on defense. So I don't think it's fair to judge some of these coaches. I know you could look at the personnel for the Fever and say, man, that looks sus. I don't know how the Fever's going to last. But in terms of just the offense, the play design, ladies and gentlemen, that thing is bare bones in the preseason. Bare bones.
Almost got turned over 2 to 3 different times there. It's nice to see the Lynx be able to turn it into some points.
Steve opens up for Kiki Rex. She'll drive it up for the foul movement, and she will lock it down from inside.
That was good. But that's on Aaliyah Nye to clap her hands or to shout. Aaliyah has to shout because she was wide open. That's her shot.
Sherrod taking her time. 8 seconds to go in the first quarter. Picks up her dribble. Looking for Delar off that flare. She's fouled as Hell was trying to jostle that ball loose.
So it's good to see Salem Profenbarger still on the team. We want to see her continue to improve and hope she can make the roster. If not, then sure, Reeve is going to keep her as a development player.
This week and said, it took me this long to make the jump to the WNBA because frankly I wasn't sure how I would land, how I would be able to make a roster or a team, but it was her national team head coach, Mike Tebow, one of the greatest coaches in basketball history, who was able to talk her into it, to get her into this position, build her confidence at this point in her first time in the WNBA.
And you know what? Not always a bad thing. You bring a lot of experience, brings a lot of confidence into the league.
Minnesota leading the Toronto Tempo 18 to 16 as we head to the second quarter at Target Center. Preseason game number 3 on tap.
It's good so far. You know, just filling each other out right now, seeing where it goes. It's both teams' final preseason game, so they want to get as many starters as they can on the court. This game, it might be a little bit more layered with some more unique play design to see how that runs. But yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. Now we got the Fever playing Team Nigeria. They should be blowing Team Nigeria out of the water. But you never know. We don't know which Caitlin we're gonna get. Is Caitlin gonna be on like she was last night, or is she gonna be off? So, you know, we got to think about that. What about the rebounding? We got to think about that, right? So, listen, Nigeria played two good games. They played really good against the Sparks, and then they played. Who did they play after that? Damn, I forgot. But they played pretty solid in that second game. I just forgot the team they played, but they played pretty solid in that second game as well. So yeah, that might have been against Minnesota. Damn, I forgot. I think it was against Minnesota. Yeah. It was against Minnesota. And so they were pretty solid against Minnesota. That's why Cheryl Reed was so upset after the game. She was really upset because at one point it looked like Nigeria was going to end up winning that game. So, yeah, like tomorrow, one thing about Nigeria, they love to press. They're going to be all over you. They're going to be playing the passing lanes. They're going to be picking you up 94 feet, half court, trapping you, everything. So they shoot a lot of threes, especially Kalou. So expect a lot of threes from them. Expect them to play the passing lanes crazy, 6'7", 6'7". Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Come on, get to the game. Get to the game. Let's get to the game. Let's get this thing over with. So I got to keep it down because they blocked one of my videos worldwide. It was some song that was playing. I'm like, come on, son. I'm watching the game. They're playing a song coming back from commercial break, and you block my video because of that song being played. Crazy.
Brand new call going from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream. Like, all the talent that's going to be around for this year. I agree. I think that's a great home opener for the Lynx because it's going to be super exciting.
Come on, y'all. Hurry up. Get this thing going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Exciting. Games against Atlanta last year were maybe the most fun series of any in the WNBA for Minnesota Lynx, but they're now sitting here with Coach Carl Smith. So to see how they develop. He's done an incredible job by such a really smart, offensive-minded coach. The reversal up there for Fat Benley gets her own miss. Again, tickers along the baseline. Flipping it up, no good. An offensive rebound for Fat Benley once more. Fat Benley takes it to the short corner. Miles can't keep it in bounds.
Yeah, but you see what I'm talking about with Fat Benley. She made more layups with the Valkyries than she did with the Fever. You want to see her build on that. But if there was any flaw with Tammy Fat Benley, she would blow layups, man. She would blow layups, which is just crazy. But
as always, to be a really strong defensive team, she didn't feel like she saw it after the first 2 preseason games. Especially that benchmark, only a team under 40% shooting as Blizzard forces another turnover by the Toronto Temple. That is number 4. On the floor for the Lynx, Howard, Miles, Jakova, Delar, and Poffenbarger. It'll be Olivia Miles. So she's solo on the floor right now. No Courtney Williams alongside her. Give and go, and she will finish with the lane. Beautiful basketball and passing by Natasha Howard. Just a beautiful play, energy player right away, making smart moves. But it's not fun to watch. Just a young player going in and attacking the basket. Slicing her way inside is Sykes.
so once again, that was a bad decision by Brittany Sykes. She should have taken the left side. which is what a big was. That would have been a better mismatch than her going to the right side, where she was being defended by a guard. So, you know, screen IQ, man, like you gotta, it's crazy. Now, the problem is that you're taught the basics is that you should always reject the screen at first, right? So that's why when you see players set screens, you'll see the teammate, the ball carrier, normally reject the screen because that's what you're taught at first. But that's low IQ. If you see you have a mismatch, take the screen. So you'll notice that. Just watch and see which side they'll take. If they reject it, why would you reject it when it's a good defender? You're rejecting it on. So just pay attention to it.
Often just ball slipping along the baseline. And then moving it into the hands of Kiki Rice, who was one of the best defensive players in the Big Ten in her career at UCLA. She has just been
Nice, Kiki. Nice.
play opportunity, the rookie first round pick for the expansion Toronto Temple. Yeah, this is going to be a big deal for Toronto. Kiki Rice and her ability to score the ball, how well she has played in her college careers, and what she can do. You know, both her and Miles are going to get a great opportunity to play a lot of minutes, and that is actually.
She's in a relationship with this dude who plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I haven't watched NBA basketball in 10 years, so I don't know these people. But I know she's with some dude. He plays for the Thunder. So, yeah. Nice. Fundamentally sound. She made sure she put that basketball down before she dribbled.
Howard established she was attempting to set a screen for Miles. This is Liv Miles. Watch her go coast to coast and don't blink. You might miss her. The speed.
That was a reverse screen in transition.
I like how she kind of stretches out her arm, knowing that she's going to need that little bit different shot to make that successful.
Miles takes the pass inside.
Nice. So you got to, please, y'all, know that you have to take mid-range shots sometimes or long twos. You know, there are people saying, you know, just step back a little further or don't take these mid-range shots. And they're calling them bad shots. They're not bad shots. They're bad shots for people who don't work on them. But for people who work on mid-range shots, they're not bad shots, right? And so, yeah, go ahead and take them. She works on her mid-range game. Let her take it. That's not a bad shot. Let her take it. And it just adds more dimensions, more layers. It makes the defense, it gets them a little bit off balance. They don't know. At that point, you're a 3-level threat, right? It makes the offense more dynamic.
McBride, Howard, and Mia Coffee. Miles taking off, carving through the defense, but can't finish at the rim. Kiki Rice also turning on the Jets. They retreating against the law. Rice has decent size, so she's able to use her size to get in the paint.
That was good footwork.
10 seconds to shoot. She penetrates. 5 seconds left. The three just raises front iron for Skyton. Miles directing traffic. Sykes almost picked her bucket, but she's supposed to foul. She goes over to help out the rookie. I love that. She's a 9-year veteran been in this league for a long time. And feels that work. Shows her rookie some love. That's going to be the second on Sykes. She goes to match up with McBride. Delano bringing it in. McBride open underneath, was looking for Merrill on the baseline. And it's going to be a Minnesota turnover. Couldn't quite get that sideline out of bounds executed. Yeah, and I think that is about communication and players knowing where to be exactly, right? Those are the things that you're working on right now. Alabama back in control. Minnesota leading by 3, 24-21 over Toronto.
Nice. Nice. Oh, that was a nice little stop and go.
She's always got the wheels turning. Finds Howard. Shoulder shimmy, shake out. Throwing in the paint and can't connect. That's really good looks inside. It's great moves that have a ball.
Nice, Kiki. Nice. And that's why you pull up in the paint. That's why you pull up in the paint, right? So you can get your eyes to the rim. Nice little hang dribble. Get your eyes to the rim. They don't know if you're going to pull up or if you're going to go to the basket. So it just throws them off. So she had two options. She could pull up right there in the paint, or she could take it to the rim. And she decided to take it to the rim. That's why you get your mid-range shots off. They help you with shot hezzies. It's a great sleight of hand. Is she going to pull up from the elbow? Is she going to pull up from the restricted area? Like, all of this stuff matters.
Offensive game is key. Full miss inside. McBride now speeding up the course, crossing over against Kiki Rice. She's going to return the favor. Well, Mia Coffey is back home in Minneapolis at the Target Center, and she is looking to hit shot.
So this is a fair point. Kiki looks like she could have been a #1 pick, right? So is that a fair point? Last night we saw AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd looked like she has no business in his league. Now we know she should be in this league. I'm just saying she played like she had no business in his league. We're looking at Kiki Rice through 2 games, and Kiki looks like she belongs in his league. Okay, especially this game, Kiki seriously looks like she belongs in his league. She looked like she should have been drafted high. AZ doesn't look like that. So all I'm saying about AZ is that you have to dispel certain things where people believe that you were selected to keep Paige Beckers happy, so Paige Beckers would want to stay in Dallas, right? So keep Paige Beckers happy, keep Paige in Dallas. Let's bring AZ Fudd over here. That's what people believe. And you have to separate yourself from that. And how do you separate yourself from that? By looking like you are the #1 overall pick. If not, I think you're going to see a split with these 2 players in their relationship. And it's only because AZ, her agent is going to be in her ear, her family, and they're going to say, you need to make your own name. Everyone believes that you got selected #1 overall because of Paige. You need to separate. You need to move and carve out your own path. And I believe Paige will continue to support her, but I think that's what's best. AZ needs to go somewhere else on her own and get from under Paige's shadow and make a name for herself. So I think that's the next step for her. But I think that's going to happen. Throughout this season. AZ probably won't ever look like the #1 overall pick. And people are going to continue to question that. Especially the fact that it's good for views, it's good for ratings, it's good for engagement, it's good for impressions. We see that on social media and YouTube. Anyone who talked about that particular topic at that time, they got a lot of views, they got a lot of impressions. They're going to stick on it. They're going to stick to talking about that. And it's going to get pretty rough for AZ Fudd throughout the season. And I'm telling you, I think she might have to leave. I think she might have to leave Dallas and go somewhere else and make a name for herself away from Paige Beckers.
Of course, with her kind of background, her Minnesota connections, and a double American as a senior at Hopkins High School, and family connections as well. And her time at Northwestern before coming to the W. Yeah, we have watched her for a lot of years. Mia Coffey, I've covered her in all of her high school games at Hopkins. She was an incredible high school player, incredible college player. And in the pros, I still think her ceiling, there's still a ton of room for her. As you talked about her offense coming alive, she's solid defensively, has a 3-point shot. So it'll be fun watching her grow here with Minnesota. Especially with the piece of college missing the first couple weeks of the season. After she had an ankle injury, she came off is going to be especially important offensively and defensively.
Nice. Nice little down screen, little high ball screen, away screen, and got her downhill. That was nice. That was nice. So we saw a post down screen into an away screen, which got her downhill. That was amazing.
Trying to find some offensive rhythm, 33%.
Going to the shot clock once more against this Minnesota defense. Valkyrie still throwing a hook shot, gets her own miss.
There you go.
Yeah, Belgium likes the matchup right there with Courtney Williams and really wants to take advantage of it.
McBride back with the ball in her hands, midway through the shot clock. Miles, not going to reset. Miles through the pick and roll, awkwardly to the ring, gets her own miss, and no look pass to Howard. She can't finish it.
Alex is struggling with her finesse right around the basket right now, but that was a glimpse again of the future too. Those two playing off of each other. I love it.
Her IQ, her instincts of Olivia Miles. You have to always be on the edge of your seat on your toes when she's on the floor.
Yeah, because she's gonna pass it to you, she's not gonna know the ball's there.
And that goes for us too. Because we're off the seat.
You're always gonna be ready.
Off the seat of Minnesota with numbers against the tempo. Williams drops off
Nice.
to the easy basket.
Yeah, Tamari Key is lost on offense. She's got to make a name for herself on defense if she wants to make this team in this preseason game. However many minutes she's going to get. Yeah, she needs to do something on defense. We need to see her on the floor diving for loose basketballs. We need to see her chasing rebounds. We need to see her solid on defense. She has to do something. I think you don't give up on her. I mean, make her a development player. That's what I say. If you don't want to put her on the final roster because there's potential there, but yeah, she's just really lost on offense.
Coach Reeve said they're still doing, of course, the evaluation here for this preseason game, but a lot of it is examining different rotations, building a connection and chemistry against another opponent that isn't in a practice setting, and that's a lot of what we're seeing with the players coming through the first time.
Yeah, there's definitely a method to her madness, and she knows what she's doing when she evaluates players and when she develops players. Clearly one of the best in the WNBA yet.
Steven Nurse, no good off the running jumper. Rebound again to Coffee as Williams, surveying her teammates for their spots. 2:30 to go in the second quarter. Miles picks up her dribble, and Williams has reestablished his offense, second to shoot, loses her footing. Bailed out by McBride, 3 seconds left, barrels to the rim, can't get the lay-in. Chikova.
Nice.
The rebound reads in. Zach Finlay's got a little bit slow to get up, but she's back on her feet, brings it down the floor.
Yeah, first big offensive set for the Lynx. A lot went down. I had a lot of shots, bodies flying, but no points came out of it.
Foul's going to go.
That was actually a smart rejection because Kayla McBride is a much better defender than Olivia Miles and a more physical defender. So that was a smart rejection as well. Go ahead and take the rookie. So I like that one. That was a good decision by Lexi Hill. Good decision. Really good decision. Not sure how long Sharif will play Courtney and Kayla McBride. Listen, you don't want to get them injured because cupboard is bare. Cupboard is bare over there in Minnesota, sort of like the Fever. The difference that Minnesota just have an overall better roster than the Fever, but cupboard is bare. If you compare Minnesota's roster to Atlanta's, if you compare it to New York, to Chicago, to LA, to Las Vegas, right? If you compare it overall to Dallas's roster, cupboard is pretty bare. So you want to protect your starters. So I would get Kayla McBride out of there. I would get Courtney Williams out of there and just put in everyone else. It's not necessary. Not necessary. Same thing with the Fever. They got a little scare last night with Caitlin Clark. I'm telling you, if Caitlin goes down, Raven could fill in, but Raven can't give you Caitlin's point production or Caitlin's assist production either. Raven is probably going to give you 6 or 7 assists. Caitlin can get you 8 to 12 assists. And that's the difference. Now, Raven is going to take care of the basketball more than Caitlin, but Caitlin's volume of assists is what you need. And on top of her point production, Raven is going to do great on defense and with the hustle plays. And Raven has a better slashing and layup package than Caitlin, but she could never make up for Caitlin's point production. She just couldn't do it. So you need Caitlin healthy if you're trying to at least get the 8th seed, the 7th or 8th seed. The Fever, because the Fever have Caitlin, Kelsey, Aaliyah, Lexi's defense and hustle plays, plus Lexi making threes whenever she's on the floor with Caitlin, Sophie's 3-pointers and her hustle plays, right? Because you have that, the Fever with Stephanie White's genius in terms of how brilliant she is with different screens and offensive formations and how she can switch things up on defense, the Fever can fight for the 7th or 8th seed, even though they don't have a talented roster in terms of depth, right? But if Caitlin goes down, you're done. If Aaliyah goes down, you're done. If both of those women go down, you're really done. And I told you guys last night, like I've been telling you, if that happens, Juju Watkins will be in an Indiana Fever uniform next season.
Distribution of talent around the league and these billion-dollar contracts are going to do it. Check how this season is going to play out. It's going to be very interesting to play out this week. I think the league is better this year probably than it's ever going to be.
Nice, Kiki.
Big part of that.
Nice, Kiki. Nice.
It already has different teams. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Kiki Rice fading a difficult shot to beat the shot clock. And so trailing by 131 to 30.
So we got Leah 2 King in the game. That's number 2 with the goggles on, if you will, the protective eyewear. She had a bad game against Nigeria. She had a real bad game against Nigeria, so she needs to have a bounce back game. She's fighting for a roster spot with Sailor Proffenbarger.
In 14 games last season, Chakova is in on the drive.
Chakova trying to use her length.
You see Kiki being very vocal in the huddle right there. That's a leader. You have to understand that. I don't care that you're in your early 20s. You are the point guard on the court. You have to be vocal. You have to be the leader. That's one of the issues Atlanta Dream ran. What happened was that when Kennedy got there, Nikki Cullen gave the team over to Kennedy. It was Kennedy's team, and everyone was all right with it, including Courtney Williams. They were all just fine with it. But the next season, Tiffany Hayes came back from injury, and she just couldn't see herself listening to a 22, 23-year-old. She couldn't see it. And there was issues because of it. She just couldn't see herself being the passenger. She worked too hard under Angel McCautry. She felt that Atlanta was her team. Angel left. Atlanta was her team. She paid her dues. And the fact that Nikki gave that team to Kennedy, she couldn't see it. And from that point on, it was issues. What you're seeing with Toronto, you don't, at least right at that point, everyone understands she's the point guard, Kiki. I don't care that she's fresh from college. We're going to listen to her, right? Regardless of age. That's maturity. That's basketball maturity.
To see around the defense like that, to get that pass into Matsuo is really nice.
Free throw could tie it up for the Lynx. She comes up short. Chakova with the offensive rebound has been productive. Looking for the assist.
That's 2 fouls by Aaliyah 9. I told you guys, Aaliyah 9 defense, she's got to work on that, right? That's she has to work on her defense, y'all. It was bad her rookie year. It was bad in Athletes Unlimited. And so far in these 2 preseason games I've been watching, she's been pretty bad. So Aaliyah has to get that defense right, y'all. Somehow, some way. She's got to get her defense right. We love her three-point shooting. We love her ability to score. But defense matters, y'all. Defense matters. So a lot of times in the offseason, players work on shooting, dribbling, and that's that's essentially it. Shooting not only just meaning outside shots, that's shots at the rim. So they work on ball handling and they just work on shooting, right? Normally. You don't really see players working on defense or passing, facilitating. And that's the issue in the WNBA. And it's been happening for a lot of years. Ever since the great point guards left the game, we've had a dearth of quality pure point guards in this league. That's why the assists are so terrible. That's why the post-entry passes are so terrible. That's why passing in general is terrible. Because in the offseason, they don't work on passing anymore the way they used to do in the early 2000s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, the mid-early 2000s. They just don't do it in the offseason. They're working on layup packages. They're working on post moves. They're working on threes and middies and dribbles. That's what they work on. They don't work on passing and they don't work on defense. Okay, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
That benefits the Minnesota Lynx. It does. And I think these calls are important because when you take away somebody's landing space, it's the easiest way for someone to get a sprained ankle, to get injured. It's a dangerous play.
So that foul issue to Aaliyah 9.
So Aaliyah 9 is sort of weird. She's the opposite of Lexi. Great three-point shooter, okay, but she can't play defense. Lexi, terrible three-point shooter when she's not on the floor with Caitlin, but she can play defense. So Lexi, in order to become an all-star eventually and a potential Hall of Famer, Lexi has to become efficient with three-point shooting, whether she's on the floor with Caitlin or not, right? Because the defense and hustle plays are there for Lexi. Aaliyah 9 has to become a better defender in order for her to eventually become an all-star because she can shoot threes with the best of them. She can shoot them off the dribble. She can shoot them in transition. Her defense sucks. So I would think in the offseason, she would want to work on her defense.
But here, get everybody in the right spot for the sideline out loud.
Let's see if that's exactly what she should be doing.
Coach Reed is really quite a bit more sporting than
Oh, you got to get that off of the glass, baby. Good play, Kiki. You got to get that off the glass. She has to put that off of the glass. Antonio, yeah, she got to put that off of the glass. That was a nice little pivot. Let's put it off of the glass.
The hustle. Those types of things that coaches are evaluating.
Andrew King is very scoring went to finish her career at Notre Dame was raised by deaf parents and has the side I love you right behind her ear. Asked her about that today. Has a very close connection with her parents following her time here with the Lynx and the PRESEASON. Just maneuvering through traffic now retreating with 5 seconds on the shot clock for the tempo. Tries to step back three, not only cooking.
Yeah, that was an escape dribble. That's an escape dribble. That's an elite escape dribble, right? And sometimes an escape dribble can look like a step back. You can escape into a step back. That's why I say, like, these commentators, I got love for them, y'all. I got love for these commentators. But they got to start knowing the verbiage, the terminology for these new modern basketball moves. So that was an escape dribble. So you got to call that.
To jump things up. This is another thing you have to practice in the preseason. Again, McBride getting everybody to the right spots.
I was like, where do you stand?
And that was a nice escape dribble from Kiki, right? So you can escape into a step back, but that was a nice escape dribble. I think Kayana Traylor has the best. And then I would probably have to go with Kaomi McMiller, Sierra Dillard, Kennedy Carter, Kelsey Mitchell.
So up ahead to King, who hesitates, penetrates, and she'll be shooting.
So that's 3 fouls on Aaliyah 9. That's 3. I like the effort, right? So there it is. I love the effort. I love the effort, Aaliyah, but she put a body on her. She put a body on her.
Played about 14 games last year between the Sparks and Dallas. In the WNBA, but told the city of shoot-around, she's so thankful for players like Fee, K-Mac, and Courtney Williams, who've been so encouraging and supportive in any year of these players. Just 5 seconds to go in the first half. Key accelerating up the floor. Shot off in time.
Nice. Nice.
Good effort by Key, pushing it up the floor, and the Toronto Tempo will lead at the half. Momentum right there for Toronto.
Nice. Held that follow through.
37-36 is
Held that follow through. That was nice. That was nice. That's what you want to see. Tamari Key, it was pretty rough. She was able to get that, bring it up the court, find an open woman in a corner, follow through. You go into halftime with the lead, positive momentum. You start working on things. Coach up Aaliyah 9. She has 3 fouls. So coach her up for the defensive end. Coach up Tamari Key on the offensive end. You're good to go. Everything looks nice with Kiki running the point. Look real nice. At some point, I think Kiki is going to end up the starting point guard. Right now, they're going to go with Julie Allman. I don't think Kiki could ever run the point like Julie, but it's going to eventually go that route. What you will see, you'll see her on the floor with Julie, which is a luxury. So you'll see that. You might see Sandy play with some small ball situation, and she'll have Brittany Sykes at the 3 only because she's a better defender. Even though she's 5'9", her arms are so long and she's so athletic and a great defender that she could put her at the 3. She can put Kiki at the 2, and then she can have Julie at the 1 if she really wanted to go small. Or she could have Kiki at the 2, Marina Mabry at the 3, Julie Van Lowe at the 1. Or if she wanted more defense, she could have Brittany Sykes at the 1, Kiki at the 2, and then Marina Mabry at the 3, right? So that's a luxury. That's a luxury. Julie Van Lowe is the pure point guard, one of the last pure point guards we have left. So you got Julie Allman, you got Kiki Rice, which is a great combo guard, and so far she looks great right now. Brittany Sykes is more of a Raven Johnson type of point guard, a defender, and Elena Beard type. So, I mean, this is a luxury. And then you got Marina Mabry. Marina Mabry can initiate the offense. She can play the 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah. Pretty serious, man. Pretty serious. Pretty serious stuff. So I still got family that live in Minnesota. I lived in Minnesota for 2 years. I stayed in St. Paul, Minnesota. I got family in St. Paul and Minneapolis. And yeah, I mean, listen, I had love for Minnesota. I had a good time in Minnesota. I had a real good time in Minnesota. So yeah, I went there early, y'all. Like, I went to Minnesota when my physical body was like 21, and I had to go there to help my brother. He just opened up a restaurant and a bar. So it was a restaurant / bar. So it was me, him, and his partner. And so I was doing that for a couple years. And I came to Florida and did some great things in Florida. Then I moved to New York again. But yeah, like, that's what I had a good time in Minnesota. I had a real good time in Minnesota. And then I found out that Minnesota is the melting pot of biracial kids. So Minnesota is the mecca. It is ground zero for biracial kids. And I didn't know that until I moved there. And yeah, that's what it is. Minnesota is the melting pot of biracial kids, y'all. So you'll always see, if you go to Minnesota, you're going to always see an interracial relationship. Right? You're going to always see that. Go to Minnesota. I don't care what store you go to, what bar you go to, what club, what restaurant. You're going to see, I guarantee you're going to see a black man with a white woman or a white woman with a black man. That's just how it is in Minnesota. I would say out of all of the associates I had, I would say at least 70% of them were biracial. So that's Minnesota for you, man. Ask anyone. Go to Minnesota and you're going to be like, wow, he was telling the truth. This is the biracial capital of America. Like, that's what it is, y'all. It's just wild like that. It's just wild like that. Yeah, so they definitely need a halftime show, man. Like, seriously. They got to step it up. They need a halftime show, y'all. Something. Can we get a halftime show? Can we get a freaking halftime show? So we have a team called the Orlando Valkyries. What is this? Women's volleyball? I've never watched pro women's volleyball before. I only watch college. So there's a team called the Orlando Valkyries. Wow. Looks like they won the game.
These last couple of points, but tremendous defense being played on both sides of the net. Laying it out for set. But the Valkyries tonight, great balance, great hustle, and really setting the tone from the very first set.
One more match for each of these teams. Atlanta, who's already wrapped up their home slate, will continue their road run. They will go to Columbus. Orlando will head to Dallas, not for the playoffs, but to play the Pulse in a regular season finale before the Pulse hosts the semifinals and the championship. So, Kelly, I think you nailed it. For each of these teams, there is a little rivalry component when you're geographically so close. When you have the amount of success that each of these franchises have had, it does feel like your playoff if you're not going to make a playoff run. And Orlando wins it here tonight. What a gritty effort by both. And Orlando's execution saved for maybe the third set as well.
Especially when you consider both of these teams have been in the playoffs the first 2 years of the league. So it's unusual not to see them in the postseason. But this was their
So we know Lexi Hall is now a co-owner of a professional volleyball team. I think they're called Volt or something like that. So Lexi Hall is now a co-owner of a professional volleyball team. So volleyball, people believe that's next up, right? That's what people believe. People believe volleyball is next up. Right now is the NWSL. The problem with the NWSL is that soccer is not as popular in America as football and basketball. That's the point. That's the thing. You know, I see the NWSL on Ion all of the time, and I just don't watch. I don't watch. I just don't watch. I just don't watch. I probably should start watching. I just don't watch. I'm just not into soccer like that. I like soccer video games. I like championship soccer games when it's time to get to these tournaments and stuff, but I just can't get into soccer. So I think that's the problem with the NWSL. Now, they've been doing good with attendance numbers. One thing about it, they definitely been doing good lately with attendance numbers. So, yeah, but people believe that volleyball is next up. That's what people believe is going to be volleyball. I think that it should be beach volleyball. I think indoor volleyball is great, but honestly, it's just something. It's something about beach volleyball that just catches the eye. So I think there should be an outdoor volleyball league. It probably is. I don't know, but I would like to see these women play outdoor volleyball, and they're on the beach. So that could be an option as well. But that's a pretty good crowd. Orlando, Florida, Friday night. They're bringing in more fans than the UFL Orlando football team. The UFL Orlando football team is undefeated, and sometimes you only see 5,000 people showing up. So that's a pretty good crowd. That's a pretty good crowd, man. This is it, y'all. From what we've been hearing, volleyball is next up. Women's volleyball is next up. I know professional women's hockey league, there's talk about that. We have a new professional women's lacrosse league. We have, obviously they're getting in. We've always had professional softball, but now you have with Athletes Unlimited, they have their professional softball league. I think right now they only have 4 teams or 6 teams. So starting to get into that with professional softball, women's softball being seen eventually on national television. Athletes Unlimited, they have that deal with ESPN, so you'll see that. But I probably could. Hold on. Let me see if they're back from commercial. I mean, from halftime. Let me see. Okay.
Just her using her strength and toughness to score the ball.
Miles with 6 points in 12 minutes. McBride with 11 points in 15 minutes. You look at the first half stats. Interesting that the Lynx have not attempted a 3 compared to 11 by the tempo beyond the arc, but they were dominating at the free throw line and getting there.
You have to like that. They get to the free throw line, and you see that like Kayla McBride's attacking the basket a lot more. I'm guessing she's going to probably, if she gets time here in this third quarter, that she's going to be looking to take some threes. But for the most part, you like the fact that they're getting into the paint. Turnovers are low, both sides. Gotta like that.
Third quarter, when we come back in 1-point game between the Toronto Tempo and Minnesota Lynx back in Target Center. We've got a close one for the half.
So I want to show you something. I'm going to come back to this game before they get back. Let me show you something real quick. Let me get out of that. They got a deal with ESPN, not only for the basketball division. Now, Athletes Unlimited deals with volleyball too, but they also have softball as well. So let me show you real quick. Let me show you. See that? Athletes Unlimited softball. There it is right here. So I think it's just 4 teams or 6 teams, I believe. Oh, that's their lacrosse, I think. Yeah, that's their lacrosse, I think. Oh, no, that isn't. Yeah, Athletes Unlimited softball, the draft, the 2026 draft. So, yeah, I guess we can watch a short. Let me subscribe to that too. So, yeah, this is what it is. You see ESPN is promoting it.
Hey, my treat.
So I'll get back to the game. I just want people to, we're starting to see, and listen, much love to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, but mainly Caitlin. She opened the door for a lot of this stuff. Her impact is all over. women's sports. It just is, y'all. So, yeah. So what are they starting out with? 5 teams?
Chicago, Portland, Salt Lake City, Durham, Round Rock, and Oklahoma City can now rally around their teams. On opening night, June 9th, Utah will host Chicago, Carolina will host Portland, and Oklahoma City will host Texas. And it is great to have the AUSLs.
Oh, that's Maya. That's Maya Brady. That's Tom Brady's niece.
Maya wants to
The biracial chick. That's Tom Brady's niece.
We're all picking December's allocation draft for the Oklahoma City Spark. You're going to be reunited with your UCLA coach, Kurt Walker. Describe what this new chapter means to you.
I feel like going into this new chapter in Oklahoma City with Kurt is just honestly a dream come true. I think even from the recruiting process very early on, he was just a really pivotal role in me joining UCLA. So I think to just have the opportunity to work with him again and in the AUSL is a dream. So I'm very, very lucky.
Very cool. Sis, to you, because you were drafted by to the Portland Cascade. It's a full circle moment for you. You grew up in California, you had your All-American career in Washington. What does it mean to rep the Pacific Northwest with the Cascade?
Yeah, I feel like it's been such a long time since I've been there. We got to play there last year in Seattle for a series, and my heart was so happy. And now being drafted into Portland, I am seriously so thrilled. I live about 10 hours away. My family lives in California, and my extended family in Washington is about 2 hours away. So it's like a family reunion.
Right. So this is an actual league. It's not like Athletes Unlimited basketball or Athletes Unlimited volleyball. It's a division of Athletes Unlimited, and it's only 4 weeks. No, this is a real league, like a whole league, but it's founded by Athletes Unlimited. It's a real softball league, and so they're going to keep expanding to different markets. So this is pretty amazing. So, and then the fact that they got the deal with ESPN as well, so these games will be nationally televised. This is pretty huge. All right, let's get back to the game.
For Toronto, their second preseason debut. Seconds to shoot after by Bentley before Lynx. Sykes started hot. The step back three is no good. Williams is able to muscle out rebounds. Miles will be on the court, needed for coffee. Good ball movers that the coach Chico talked about. Coming in, wanting to establish that the second half, inside out, now in the hands of the top and Howard one against that Bentley. The drop step just not there for him.
Man, it's like 3 or 4 shots she missed.
One of the things you want to work out in the preseason, just that finesse around the basket.
She's over 5 in this game, coming over just a couple of days ago, and I need a couple working on that set line coming from her club.
Man, that's like 3, 4 shots at the rim she's missed. Natasha Howard. Damn.
Well, you know, like most of us do, you're going to practice and getting integrated right away into the club. So she doesn't have a lot of rest.
Patrice said in her first practice just yesterday, well, she was tired, she didn't show it.
Exactly. I was tired just thinking about it.
Brittany Sykes a burst to the rim for 2.
Yeah, she's just.
Yeah, she could jump real high, and that's wild because she was super athletic before the knee injury at Syracuse. I keep telling people, go back and watch her before she got the knee injury at Syracuse. This chick looked like she could dunk. That's how high she used to jump.
Howard with this. Miles is going to have to make something happen. 4 seconds as she accelerates 3-6 short. Offensive rebound is Courtney Williams in the rhythm, and the shot just not falling for the Lynx right now. Nurse, steady routine. Routine is led by.
I know they have Brittany Sykes listed as 5'9", but Brittany Sykes looks 5'10". So I know Raven is listed at 5'9", and Raven looks 5'9" to me. Brittany to me looks 5'10".
Isabel Harrison's couple of the along the baseline. She's added to her lane. She's added to this, right?
She's playing in the paint, and I love it. I just think that ESPNW.
Not only has Kim McBride not attempted a three steal, no member of the Lynx has shot a three into the steal. We have an extra moment with Coach Chico. That was such a man's question.
Yes, we're gonna need some pointers at some point, folks.
That goes out of bounds to be Minnesota basketball. 7:28 on the clock in the third quarter.
Tammy has to get her post fadeaway. Tammy got to get her a post fadeaway. I need to see some hook shots from her. I need to see a post fadeaway, something.
This year, catching Toronto, falling asleep, a full-court pass to Evan Chakova for two.
Yeah, Chakova, she's a really smart play, and she's doing some of these little things on the court that are really important.
She's looking confident, unfazed, bodying up that mid lane, which was a foul right there.
I like it. I think it shows her aggression on the defensive side. You do need to learn how to defend without fouling, but offensively, just nice and easy. Gets the ball, is able to turn around, lay it in.
I don't think anybody has, but let's not forget the kind of playmaker Courtney Williams is. Second in the WNBA last year in assists per game. That she can have those kind of highlight reel passes.
Yeah, that's one thing about Courtney that is so special.
Nice, Julie. Nice pass, Julie. Tamari got to finish that. I mean, Tioni got to finish that, man. I keep thinking of her sister. She has to finish that. Come on. That was a beautiful pass.
6 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocks for Chakova in her first WNBA action at forwards of 21-year-olds. Williams keeps it alive, but should spread up the floor. Dishing it out to Coffee for 3. That's the first 3-point attempt of this game for Minnesota. They're 0 for 1.
If Coffee can hit the 3-point shot, I think, again, this is going to be something that we're going to look for in her game, is her ability to knock down the three and get inside and outside.
28% last season, but 2 of the last seasons before that, she was over 40%. You know, the ability is there for Coffee. Sykes sneaks her way inside for 2. Look at Miles using that high screen. Sheds her defender, beats her way in. A ridiculous 3-point play.
There you go. Get the crowd involved. Get the crowd involved. That's what I'm talking about. Get the crowd into the game with you. Basketball is also about being an entertainer, a show woman, right? Sometimes these teams, these women, they play like they're just at a job. I'm at my job. I got to package this and stock this and ring this up or type this in. No, it's a job, but you got to entertain. Be an entertainer.
Great job by Olivia Miles. Just a crafty play by a rookie. 10 seconds to shoot for the tempo. Looking to respond. Oh, joined from behind by Miles. Again, the instincts surfacing for the rookie from TCU. That's going to come into her defensive development as well as the kind of feel that she has. It's going to be a jump ball, though. Right here between it. It's like the grind. Besides, look at Minnesota basketball triples out of bounds. John David, 43, 606 on the.
So I'm not seeing enough of Sayla Profenbarger. I want to see more of her. I'm hoping that she's not going to cut her. Sayla played 2 good games. I mean, last game against Nigeria, she was pretty bad shooting threes. She started off good, but she did everything else great. Perfect pass.
Touchdown.
Perfect pass. That was an absolute touchdown pass.
Ron will take a 2-point lead. Oh, it's just like she spun at times. Like very close down. Chakova puts her head down in attack mode. And she'll
Start making a difference in this game, and Kia Nurse starting to come alive as well. I just think she has such a big opportunity here in Toronto. They're going to be the lead player, such an important part of this Toronto team, being the Canadian who's representing. And there's just a lot of cool things that Bordello is going to be able to do with this team and Kia Nurse.
multiple-time Olympian as well to represent. Coach Barnell talked about how important it was to have that first game in Canada. Of course, not the first one, but the Lynx played a preseason game there as well, and that had a fantastic turnout. Bridget Carleton got to take all that in as one of the greats from Canada right now, but still symbolic and important for this franchise.
It really is, and it just speaks to this league and the way that it's growing.
Sykes takes over control of the basketball, gets a bump for Miles, trying to match her physicality, and does an offensive foul. The Lynx are able to drop.
And that's a statement right there from the youngster. And she's staying with the vet. And that's a savvy vet that she's going up against right now. But she is physically trying to stay with her.
It felt like she was sick.
Now, Caitlin Clark was getting those calls yesterday. If she were Caitlin, if she were Paige, they were going to give her those calls. If her name was Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, they're going to give her those calls. And that was a mandate. That's something that they instructed the officials. The superstars must be protected this year. So Brittany Sykes, listen, I don't care what she did. If that were Caitlin, that whistle was going to get blown. Crazy.
She tries to find her footing in the WNBA.
That whistle would have gotten blown, man.
Again, organizing bodies.
Here we go again. Becoming easier soon here.
So it's going to be actually a Leah County that's still going against McBride. McBride takes it here with Minnesota. 5:18 to go in the third. Trying to shake herself free.
Nice.
That's just a great connection for the Williams and Coffee. I love it. That's a great sign for this team.
Sky goes to say screen for Rice. And running an offense for Sykes with signature signings office expansion.
Yeah, so what you're just watching is woman-to-woman defense. That's it. And they're pretty disciplined at it. You're seeing them. Sometimes it's high pressure. Other times they're doing the right thing, keeping the arms distance, length, while making sure that they're active, their hands are active for tips, passing lanes, and things of that nature. You're seeing them dig in terms of helping. So, yeah, I mean, it's just pretty basic stuff what Cheryl is doing right now. Transition basketball, some 5-out, some cuts, some back screens, down screens. I've seen a reverse screen in transition. You see some curl screens. I saw a curl screen into the corner. So it's just simple things you're seeing right now. It's just nothing major going on. Nothing major. Like, you'll know if I start pointing out some floppy screens. If I start pointing out some floppy screens, that's when you're like, oh, wait a second, Cheryl is starting to get a little bit more detailed up in here. So if you see me mention a floppy screen, Cheryl is in her bag, if you will. Like, but right now, Cheryl is she keeping it pretty light. And the same with Sandy. Nothing major with Sandy right now. Basic screens right now. I'll highlight as many as I can because everything is just pretty basic. I think the main thing that I like what I saw was a low double stagger. And then I saw a high double stagger into a ghost screen. So that's the only thing that was a little bit nuanced to me. But I'm looking.
It goes has to be conquered. I want to make Eager and Rory proud.
McElroy has his masterpiece.
Peter Piper persistently missed packages, so he scheduled his deliveries with Amazon Business.
Oh, hell no. I got to be careful with showing some of these commercials, too. I had to wait 24 hours. They banned my video, the Indiana Fever video. The first one I streamed for first preseason. They banned it worldwide because of an Apple Watch commercial. I was like, wait a second. Apple is banning their own commercials? I would think you would want as many people as possible to see that commercial. I didn't even know. I was like, damn, how come this video blocked? Boom. And I had to wait 24 hours for it to fully upload, and I was able to trim out that segment. Apple Watch commercial, they blocked my video worldwide because of that commercial. Crazy.
Bring them in one place. From giveaways to special ticket offers, theme nights, and celebration games, you can explore every promotion happening this season. Visit letsbasketball.com/promotions to get started. I have to take a look myself, see what's in store for this year. Always fun. Activities coming down. Games of game and returns. 5 to shoot for Kiki Rice as she attacks the bottom.
Nice. Now, that's called a paint and spray, y'all. That's called paint and spray. Drive into the paint, your gravity draws them in, you kick to the corner or to the wing. Paint and spray, paint and spray.
Oh, she's still directing the action against
Now, that's patience. That's patience. And we didn't see that yesterday. We've been seeing players catch it and just throw it up there, and it's just ridiculous. You got to that's a reverse screen by Tioni Key, right? So you can call that a reverse back screen, if you will, but that's called a reverse screen. Anytime you see a player set that screen with their back facing the rim, that's called a reverse screen.
Williams.
And sometimes you can get a reverse drag screen as well. So we've seen a few of those this game. I've seen 2 from Toronto. I've seen 1 from Minnesota in transition.
Practices with Chicago already here. Just finding her regular player instincts. Nice. Suffocated along the 3-point line. Gives it up. 7 seconds on the clock for the Temple going deep into the shot clock. Again, Rice has to force it to strong off glass.
Yeah, so we're seeing a little bit of dribble drive, y'all. A little bit of dribble drive off of some high ball screens, and that's what you're witnessing. It didn't work. Take your time. Take your time. I wouldn't have done that. She could have went up with a nice little left hook, but it worked out anyway. That's Nia Coffee. It worked out anyway.
That was some sharing of the basketball right there. It was moving. Toronto will call a time.
Right, and that's also a part of pace, right? So pace includes running, okay, a lot of motion, getting into your offense quicker and faster, using as little of the shot clock as possible. But pace is more than just running up and down the court. Pace is also moving the basketball, but making sure that you move the basketball efficiently and quickly to get to the shot that you want that works best for the team. So you want to see 3 passes, preferably 2 passes. You don't really want to go more than 3 passes, right? If you're trying to at least be top 5 in pace, right? So you want to go 2 passes, 1 pass, 2 passes, the max 3 passes. So that helps with pace. So I know some people are saying, oh, the Fever shouldn't get Kalani Brown and Tierra McCowan because they're too slow. Well, that's because they're thinking about pace, right? But when they think of pace, they only think of running. And that's a part of it, but it's also moving the basketball. So you can run up the court and get into your half-court action with just 2 passes, right? And then you can get second chance points because Tierra McCowan, 8 times out of 10, is going to grab that offensive rebound, right?
Coaching with Coach Reed, but with Lindsay Whalen as well. So she just has an incredible opportunity here.
So she's picking up Kiki 94 feet, but no one calls this out. So if you listen to the narratives, everyone is saying Caitlin is the only one being picked up 94 feet. How often have we seen these teams in preseason picking up these guards and wings 94 feet? Now, the difference is that Caitlin's rookie year, it was kind of crazy. I mean, you got them double teaming her 94 feet. That was kind of crazy, but yeah, well, just watch this game. You're going to see players being guarded 94 feet. Face guarded too. Nice. Do you see how Kiki just looks like a pro? She looks like a pro. AZ didn't look like a pro last night. Did y'all just see that? Did y'all just see that from Aaliyah Nye? That's called a Gortat screen on the perimeter. A Gortat screen is making sure that you set a screen by pushing either an off-ball offensive player or pushing your own. Just a straight up push, right? And then you could push him into a screen. That was amazing, dog. And it's sort of like you're just clearing the way. And that's called a Gortat screen. She set a perimeter Gortat screen, y'all. That was amazing, but it didn't work.
Think about the IQ, the knack for a flashy pass. I think both of them really value and have certain connection to their game.
Well, and here's what Olivia has done.
It's named a Gortat because it's after the Washington Wizards NBA player. What was his name? Marcin Gortat. So it was named after him. He used to do it all of the time on the block in the paint, right? He'll push either his man or another defensive player. He'll push them away to clear the lane. And it was legal. It was absolutely legal. It was absolutely legal. So it's like more of an off-ball screen, but you just push them. You don't just stand stationary still like a statue. You actually push them. You move them. And that's called a Gortat screen. It's like a bulldozer.
Getting Courtney off the ball a little bit.
But what we saw Aaliyah Nye set it on the perimeter. You don't normally see Gortat screens on the perimeter.
Blocking Fiddle inside is going to go on the feet.
That was Lexi Hell with that nice bounce pass.
That kid's willing to give up the body, willing to go in, to get the stop.
Tiani King at the line out of Kentucky. Playing for Kenny Brooks. You'll see. So we had a technical problem the first time we showed this to you, but these are some highlights of Olivia Miles throughout the preseason here. Minnesota 2-0. We have seen her be a double scorer. We've seen the passing ability as well. Everything we kind of lining up as she builds that confidence here at the next level.
Nice. Oh.
That could be a game changer for a rookie.
Dell misses the three. Jalen Sherrod able to hold her off to Corrales. Sherrod and Miles got running the show as Miles, the hesitation, stops on a dime, leaves it short on the fade.
No. That's called a hang dribble. Right? So hang dribbles can look like hezzies, but that's called a hang dribble. So, yeah, like I say, to me, the best commentator is Christy Winter-Scott. And she does color commentary for the Washington Mystics. And I say that not only because she played the game of basketball, but a lot of these women played it at some level. It's just that she knows modern, current terminology, verbiage, vernacular for current basketball moves. Her daughter plays, I think her daughter is in college right now playing college basketball. And Christy also coached like Rebecca Lobo at the lower level. So she understands modern vernacular, modern terms for these new basketball moves. So she knows what a hang dribble is from a hezzy.
Just rips out. And will be Minnesota basketball.
She knows.
Getting good, easy looks at the basket, not being able to finish. You know, that's a little bit of frustration.
Yeah, Tioni is having a rough go of it, but you make up for it on defense in your hustle plays.
So leading by 152 to 51 is going to close the entirety of this game. Siva picks up her dribble, Checo, but cuts at the right time. She stops.
Yeah, see, effort is there with Aaliyah Nye. The effort is there. She's having a rough go of it on defense, y'all. And it was like that last year with the Aces. And that's probably why Becky didn't keep her. I mean, you just don't give away somebody who can shoot like that. So Becky didn't protect her in the expansion draft. And I think it was because of the defense, because she was terrible on defense. So I think Becky was like, nah, we're not going to protect Aaliyah Nye. Becky didn't protect Kate Martin either. So, and it wasn't really Kate Martin's defense. Kate Martin stopped being efficient shooting threes, and I just think Becky didn't trust her, and so Becky didn't keep her. Because you normally don't let Kate Martin go because she's top 5 in jersey sales on top of her being athletic, and she's pretty versatile. It's just that she was inefficient. I think Becky was like, I'm good on that. I'm good on that.
Whistle.
So you could say, well, how can Aaliyah Nye improve her defense? Well, your teammate is Brittany Sykes. She's one of the best defenders in the WNBA. I would start working out with Brittany. There's other unorthodox ways you can do things. Number one, work on your lateral movement. I would work with a defensive backs coach, which is something that I've been preaching to people. And now we're starting to see that come into college basketball with some teams. They're starting to have guards and wings to work out with defensive backs coaches to teach them how to turn their hips, lateral movement, shuffling, backpedaling, recovery, eye discipline, all of those things. So that's what I would do. Something unorthodox. I would work out with a defensive backs coach. I would work on a lot of my lateral movement as well. Things of that nature. I would do a lot of 1x1 isolation work on defense. So all of that is important. But you got Brittany Sykes. You have Brittany, learn from Brittany Sykes, and that's going to help you out.
In the third quarter here at Target Center, it is a 1-point game yet again. 53-52, the Minnesota Lynx with the slight advantage heading into the final frame of preseason basketball. Evaluation, development, connections, 10 more minutes for the Minnesota Lynx.
For me, it's about giving my
Man, it's just kind of wild to me how that Fever game tomorrow is at 7:00. Like, it's just wild. It's so wild to me. Why wouldn't you have that game on earlier in the day? 3:00. Right? Seriously, 3:00. I think that's fine. Maybe 5:00. Maybe they're like, let people enjoy their Saturday, go out shopping, have a good time. 5:00, I think people are getting back into the house around 5:00. And obviously, you're going to have other people doing other things after 5:00 on a Saturday, but I think 5:00 would have been perfect, right? You wake up in the morning, you shower, brush your teeth, get your tea, coffee, milk, orange juice, bagels, whatever you do. And you go out, whether you're going to go shopping, you're going to go to the beach, you're going to go to a restaurant, you're going to do something on a Saturday. I think by 5:00, people are starting to get back into the house, depending on what you plan with your day. So yeah, to me, 5:00 would have been perfect for that game. 7:00, 7:00. I don't know. I think that's kind of late. And I say that because I think the NBA playoffs is on at 7:00 tomorrow, 7 or 7:30. So, but it doesn't matter to them because it's not like it's a nationally televised game. I don't think it's on Ion. So I guess the WNBA is like, it don't really matter to us. The app is free for preseason, so it's not like they're making any money, and Ion isn't covering the game, so I guess it doesn't matter to them. There were people complaining about season ticket gifts that these teams are given. One woman complained to the Dallas Wings today. She's been a season ticket holder for 5 years. Her seat is now $900, and they gave her a T-shirt and a beach towel. one woman from the Atlanta Dream complained that they gave her a bobblehead, and she's been a season ticket holder for 4 years, and all they gave her was a bobblehead. You had another one complain in the comments about the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx did something real. They gave them something that was $10 off. So it was like a coupon or something, a $10 off coupon or something. The Minnesota Lynx, and then they start comparing it to the Aces. How the Aces essentially give you Christmas gifts. The Aces give you so much stuff; it's almost like Christmas. So yeah.
There's misfiring from three. The foul's going to go on Toronto.
And I thought that was so egregious from what I heard from the Minnesota Lynx fan, as she said they gave her like a coupon that was $10 off of something in the Lynx store. And she's been a season ticket holder for multiple years, and all they gave them was a $10 off coupon. I tagged Alex Rodriguez. He's the co-owner. I swear to you, I tagged him. When I saw that, I tagged him. You got to do something. This woman has been a season ticket holder for multiple years, and you reward her with a $10 off coupon? What? That's crazy.
To kind of not be out of control, but get yourself to the free throw line. That's a big part of it.
Sherrod joined Minnesota midway through last season, ended up playing in 8 games. Was originally on the New York Liberty when.
And so some dude was in the comments and he was like, well, what did you expect? Look how much they have to pay these players now. And so I'm just like, okay, you could still give a better gift than a bobblehead. A bobblehead? That's what the Atlanta Dream player was saying, fan was saying. They gave her a bobblehead. A bobblehead? Come on, stop it.
Yes, it's spilled and things happen.
I'll be ready to see
Exactly. The dangers of sitting courtside.
King looking at around the perimeter. King the mid-range.
Oh, you got to make that.
The rebound is all about. It's full court pressure here from Sherrod against the Olympian from Belgium. Nurse tries to force it through the Lynx and draws a whistle. Nurse today, 2 points in 12 minutes, 1 of 3 shooting. Getting scored for the Tempo is Elizabeth Balagoon.
Well, what we've been seeing from Kia Nurse is she's starting to lose some of that weight she gained in Athletes Unlimited. She gained at least 15 pounds to 20 pounds, it looked like, in Athletes Unlimited. Eating all that good food in Nashville, Tennessee. Plus, JoJo Lacey is damn near a chef. And JoJo Lacey was cooking the most exquisite foods for these women. And I think I'm exaggerating by saying she put on 20 pounds, but I swear to you, it looked like she put on at least 15 pounds. And so she's starting to get that weight off of her right now, Kia Nurse.
So he's shown a great amount of athleticism too in her stops at North Carolina. And then Kentucky has dealt with injury in her college career. We're hoping to find a home here in the WNBA.
All right, we got Sailor Profenbarger in the game. There we go.
Feels like a player that can play a few different positions and definitely guard a few different positions.
All right, Kosu's back into the game as well for Minnesota. Sherrod running the show from the point guard position. The back door. Savon puts it up. Offensive rebound keeps it here. Let's try to find some rhythm here on this possession. It's going to be an offensive foul taken by Kia Nurse. Kosovo will pick it up, and that's her third personal.
Yeah, they clearly didn't have a plan. And, at that point, that's read and react, and I thought it was poorly done by Jalen Sherrod. Then on top of that, once you get past that, you get into CLA where you leave it up to the players to make adjustments. And so they clearly didn't do that. So someone should have called out a certain screen, a certain action to make it look more organized. And that's not what you saw. So if anything, just go to some bread and butter with a high ball screen, a pick and roll, a pick and pop, something. you know, so, but that's part of CLA, constraints-led approach. Sometimes you can't always get instruction directives from coaches. You gotta do it on your own.
8:23 to
You
go.
have to do it on your own.
But this feels like this is an exciting test for the Minnesota Lynx coaching staff because they get to see.
Look, that's 94 feet, y'all. That's face guarding 94 feet, right? So I'm just saying that because if you listen to some of these people, they want you to believe that Caitlin is the only one who's guarded 94 feet, and that's not true.
Walker slips the screen. Miles gallops into the paint. The low range two for King doesn't go. And the rebound by Saito. It comes back into the hands of King. And she attacks for two. Good job by King for following up on the hustle that she put into that play to stay with it. First bucket today for Leah King in her 7 minutes on the floor. Nurse sets her feet.
Nice. That could have been a foul too.
Finals conducting this offense. Her team trailing by 3. There's 7:30 to go. Miles, one-on-one, gets to the rim.
Nice. Yeah, just woman-to-woman defense.
On the other side of the floor, it's 5-on-4. She's still on her back on the opposite baseline. As Thompson brings it over half court. Miles finally.
As long as her knee isn't messed up, she's fine. She'll be all right.
That was a hard take by Olivia Miles.
As long as her knee isn't messed up, she'll be fine.
Step aside for a moment. It's a 3-point game in the 4th.
Oh, she's bleeding. Yeah, just get her out of there. Get her out of there. It's over. Like, get her out. You don't want to mess that up. Cupboard is already bare. You don't really have a deep roster. Even when Nafisa gets back, it's still not a deep roster. Even when Dorka gets back, it's still not deep. Now, we know Cheryl is going to go 7 deep for the whole season. That's what she's going to do. So eventually Minnesota, if they stay healthy, they'll probably make the playoffs because she's going to go 7 deep. So they probably would make the playoffs. But still, I mean, you know, get her out of there. It's unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. So I'm thinking Dorka at the 5, Natasha Howard at the 4, Nafisa Collier at the 3, Kayla McBride at the 2, Courtney Williams at the 1, Olivia Miles is 6, and then at 7, I think it's going to be 7 is tricky. Is it Nia Coffey at 7 potentially? Or they're gonna flirt with Anastasia Kosu at 7. So 7 is a little bit tricky, but I think she's gonna go 7 deep. I think she's gonna go 7 deep. And we've seen Cheryl Reeve go 6 deep before. So when you don't have a talented roster, you have to shrink the rotation. Because if you don't, you leave yourself susceptible, more open to errors, turnovers, missed shots, bad defense, all sorts of things. So that's how you can make the playoffs with a bad roster. If you got at least 6 or 7 high quality players, but the other 5 is terrible, then you got to shrink it to 7. Your rotation, you don't go past 7. Unless one of the 7 is super tired, and then you could take a chance like that. So we saw last year Becky Hammond was going 6 deep. She was talented enough to go 7 deep, but you saw Becky in most games go 6 deep, right? So sometimes teams will do that. Looking at the back end, oh, this is terrible. We're going 6 or 7 deep, and like that's how that is. So I think Stephanie White is going to do the same thing. I think Stephanie White is going to go 7 deep. She might flirt with 8, but I think Stephanie is going to go 7 deep. And I think you'll end up seeing the Fever make the playoffs as a 7th or 8th seed. But even though they don't have a lot of height, but if Caitlin goes down or Aaliyah or Kelsey goes down, the Fever are in massive trouble, massive trouble.
Take, but she's back in charge of this offense for the Minnesota Lynx. Under 7 minutes to go. Here's Coffin Barker. He's the triple. 13 rebounds in game number 1 against the Washington Mystics. Franchise record for a preseason game. Here's Miles calling her own number. And the offensive rebound of Coffin Barker.
These things survive. You have to love it. Offensive boards. Minnesota, another opportunity.
5 seconds to shoot. To the whistle. We'll go on the tempo.
So based off of personnel, when I look at Minnesota on the court right now, let me pay attention to something. We're seeing a lot of cutting. That was a good one. I'm trying to, I don't see anyone as, I'm trying to look for someone who could run an Iverson screen. And if anything, it would have to be Olivia Miles, but that's unnecessary. So, yeah, just trying to look for someone who could run an Iverson screen. Okay, and that's essentially you come in from the corner, and you got 2 post players essentially setting a low stagger apart from each other, and you just run off of that, and then you catch it by the baseline, mid-range baseline, and you're able to shoot a nice baseline shot. It's called an Iverson screen. So you would see someone in a corner. They'll run off a curl and come around those 2 screens set in a post, in a low post, a low block, and you run off of that and have a nice little baseline mid-range shot or close shot. That's an Iverson screen. So I was trying to see if any, now on this side, you can do Lexi. You can use that with Lexi Held. You can use that with Aaliyah Nye if you wanted to.
For that one to play out, but luck is part of it.
Almost just whittled back to happen as King inside muscles it up, and she's fouled. It is going to be on Helms. Her 4th.
King has 3 points.
Now with Minnesota right now, what I would like to see for them do is a lot of cutting. So I would like to see cutting. I would like to see some paint and spray opportunities with Sailor, but mainly Sailor in a corner because she's struggling with the wing 3, and that's carried over from the Nigeria game. So I would try to give her a corner 3 and see if we could work something like that. I would have some nice calls for Anastasia Kosul with some good cutting from her, and Leah too. That's what I would do. So I'm looking for, most likely, I would say a 45-degree cut from both of those. I would engage in that. I would get some nice backdoor cuts going for them to get them some shots at the rim, because they're limited with their 3-point ability and deep mid-range ability. So you just want to get them some easy shots, pick and rolls, back cuts, backdoor cuts, 45-degree cuts. A 45-degree cut is just a diagonal cut, and it can happen at the wing. Sometimes you can do it at the corner. You just move up by the wing from the corner to the wing, and then you can make a diagonal cut, or you can do a drive cut with just a straight shot. It's almost like a go route directly at the rim. So, and sometimes that works off of goal screens as well. So yeah, so based off the personnel, now with Sailor, you could have her to come off of a zipper screen for a corner 3 or a shot at the wing. Or with Sailor, you can have her to do a 90-degree cut, which is like an L cut. So you refer to it as an L cut, 90-degree cut. And what that does is that gets her open for a 3 as well, which is something you want to see. So like I said, things doesn't always have to be screen heavy in a preseason game. depending on the personnel you have. So when I look at the personnel for Minnesota on the court right now, I would tell them I want to see 45-degree cuts from Leah King and Anastasia Koso. I want to see 45-degree cuts. I want to see drive cuts or dive cuts. And then I would like to see a 90-degree cut from Sailor. And so those are some of the things that I would be looking at. So her right there, I want to see a dive cut that's like a go route, but like a go route straight to the rim hard. A 45-degree cut is a diagonal cut, right? So I'm looking for 45-degree cuts. I'm looking for a dive cut straight to the rim. And then for Sailor, I'm looking for a 90-degree cut, which is an L cut. Okay, and then I can use that off of a zipper screen, which pairs with it perfectly. So those are some of the things I'm looking at, or simple things, pick and roll plays. I can get into a more traditional offense and have them to play with their back to the basket, stuff like that. These are things you can do in a freestyle type of, yeah, right? Like, so that's freestyle. So preseason, you're not giving away much. I'm just trying to come up with some simple things.
Getting it done on both sides of the ball, strong defensive stand, and then able to turn that defense into offense.
She's so bouncy. The acceleration she has.
That was nice, Aaliyah. Nice little bounce pass to split the defenders right in the pocket. Perfect. All she had to do was catch it and lay it up. Beautiful. Right. So that's a high 3-2, what you saw, but with woman-to-woman principles. So that's a decoy. That's a sleight of hand. So it looks like a 3-2, but it really has woman-to-woman principles in it. So that was a hybrid zone, but it left them open on the back end, which is what you saw. So the big was on Aaliyah Nye down there, and that was dangerous. That was dangerous.
The only preseason game action you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible, and it's a good sign for the Minnesota Lynx as she gets more comfortable with her game.
Minnesota's now 21 for 34.
Look at that, y'all. Picking her up. Picking her up at least 89 feet. That was around 89 feet. She picked her up at 89 feet, face guard her. I'm just pointing this out, right? I just want to say there's a lot of other people in preseason and the regular season being picked up at least 94, 89, 94 feet.
She's got 10 points in 11 minutes here off the turnover. Sky using every bit of that pivot, looking for help. That's way too strong. And Miles pushed out of bounds.
Nice defense there from Emma Chikova. Really did a nice job of staying with her player.
She's been showing, of course, the instincts, the skill, but mobility as well, too.
Yeah, I like the mobility piece because I think that's so important in this league where you can kind of be the big that can get up and down the court. You can, the universal player where you can do a little bit of everything. She's showing some of those skills.
Part of the modern game of where we're at right now.
Sure is.
So Miles has 2 free throws. And again, Minnesota has attempted now 36. Coach Reese said the first 2 games of the preseason,
Oh, yeah, for some of you who don't know, Jonquel Jones' signature shoe was released to the Nike app, Nike store today. She signed under Jumpman Jordan, and those shoes look nice. The colorways, they look nice. I know it's like, what, $135 at the Nike store, or is it $125 or something like that? So you guys might want to check those out. Might want to check those out. I think they look nice.
now, slowly Minnesota basketball.
I didn't even know Jonquel was Team Jordan. I didn't even know she was a Jordan brand athlete. Right? So I had no clue. But anyway, they just released those today.
Willingness to get up and down the court. She's not shy of taking her shots, and the confidence that you have to have as a rookie to do that.
Chikova hands it off to Miles Survey.
Nice. Nice sleight of hand. Faked it like she was about to do a reverse layup and then kicked it in the corner. That was beautiful.
Interesting. Coach Reese thought that was This group that's finishing up the game. She's taking notice throughout the preseason of who is on the floor for the best, most energetic stretches of our game plan. Just falls out and corralled by Miles, and a little behind the back tap over there with Soba. Really have some fun passing, and I think that's going to be a big part of her being a sensation.
Nice. That was an Iverson crossover in terms of how she brought it out to hang it like that. Nice. Nice.
She's bringing it to target center.
How she getting the crowd into it, man. That was a nice one. She hit her with the nasty little Iverson cross as she hung it like that. And threw her off, and then boom, a nice little fake Iverson hang and into a nice little midi. Crazy. 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 Stop playing with her. And she getting the crowd involved. Bleeding too. Bleeding.
Jerry West, he was just another level. Olympic gold medal. 14-time All-Star. All of a sudden, I'm the general manager. I grew up living below the poverty line. When I picked this basketball, it was a good look shot. Jerry West made all my dreams come true. There was this mysterious thing. Was he the logo? Was he not the logo?
Yeah, so people are saying that Michael Jordan should be the logo. In the NBA, they're not going to ever let that happen. Even though because of Michael Jordan, the NBA is making all of this money. But they're never going to get rid of that logo. It's not going to happen. They're going to keep it with Jerry West. So, yeah, that's never going to happen. It's the same in the WNBA. It's like, well, who is the logo? So some people believe it's Diana Taurasi because of the bun. And then at some point, people thought it was Kelsey Plum, but that's not it. So people believe it's Diana, but the WNBA hasn't said who that silhouette, that logo really is. But people believe it's Diana Taurasi. Now, at some point, people are gonna say the logo should be Asia Wilson because Asia is winning all of these championships. Then people are gonna say it should be Caitlin Clark because the only reason why you're making all of this money right now is because of Caitlin. Then some people are gonna say it should be Diana because no one has done more in terms of statistics than Diana. So I don't know. We'll see.
A closely contested third and final preseason game for the Minnesota Lynx, taking on the expansion Toronto Tempo, 69-66 with 2:23 to go. Minnesota having this lineup on the floor to close things out. Miles, Koshin, Offenbarger, Omsova, and Chakova. Rice loses the basketball under 10 to shoot, approaching the 2-minute mark. Chakova, the rejection. Toronto trying to pounce on that offensive rebound off the visit. Chakova again comes up with it. Chakova to the whole bunch right there.
Oh! Gotta love it, dog. Nice little windmill layup. Gotta love it. Now, I love what I saw from Isaiah James, that she was able to get past Kiana Traylor with the around the back reverse layup yesterday, and you saw Caitlin sitting on the bench looking at it, and I was hoping that would inspire Caitlin to get a better layup package. Caitlin has to get a better layup package. So now we just saw a windmill layup, a nice little two-hand windmill layup. Nice little two-hand windmill layup. So, you want Caitlin to get a better layup package. So, yeah. Hell, you want Angel Reese to get a better layup package, right? But that's what it is. But one thing that we witnessed yesterday was Caitlin baited them. She got them again, y'all. So remember what I've been telling y'all the last 2 years. What she does is that she'll start the game. 9 times out of 10, she's going to start the game by attacking the basket. She's going to run straight to the rim. And she did that on Paige Becker. As soon as the game started, what was her first shot? She attacked the basket full speed. And what that does is that sets up the fake blow by, right? So she'll attack it maybe 2 straight times. Sometimes she'll attack it 3 times, and then she'll pass out of it the 3rd time. So what that does is that it sells you on the blow by, the fake blow by. So the next time she gets it, she'll drive really hard like she's going to the rim again, and then she'll come back behind her back into a snatch back or a step back. So that's called a snatch back or a BTB snatch back, or to be between a leg, that's a BTL, or it'll be a reverse between a leg, that's a reverse BTL, into a snatch back, right? Or it might be across the body. So it's not like she's running in transition. So you give it to her on a wing, and then what happens is that she fakes like she's about to explode to the rim, and then she comes across her body like a hard swipe. So she comes across her body from right to left, and that's called an across the body snatch back, and then she'll pull up. And so you fell for it because she ran to the basket 2 or 3 times and was successful with these hard drives to the rim. And that sets up the hezzy. So it's a hezzy. It looks like she's going to the rim, but it's a hezzy, a fake hezzy blow by. Like, that's what it is. She got Dallas nasty with that yesterday. Nasty. And that's why she was so successful, because it worked. Last season, they knew she was going to do that, and they weren't falling for it. But Dallas fell for it, and that set up Caitlin's entire offense.
We had a pretty nice squad. A couple of D1 players on that team.
So what you saw there was a post down screen. So that's what you saw there. Number 2 ran a post down screen. All right, let's go. Nice, Anastasia. Nice. Using that strength. She just need to get it off of the glass a little bit more.
Her right hand as she jogs back on defense. That's just like Golden with her left hand. Going in for the rebound is Offenbarger. Miles needs a moment here.
She shouldn't even be in a game right now, y'all. Now, she's not going to get out because she wants to show that she's tough. She wants to show how tough she is, but she shouldn't be in a game. Jesus Christ, Sharif. Like, come on, what are you doing? And what are you doing?
Up her shoulder, hit her hand on the floor.
Like, it's reckless. It's negligence. Now, a player isn't ever going to want to come out, especially a rookie. She wants to show that she's tough. So that's a finger. Oh, that was her pinky. That was her pinky. It could be dislocated. That was her pinky. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, so she's in pain. That hurts. Like, she shouldn't even been in a game. Look at Lindsay Whalen. Like, she shouldn't even been in a game, y'all. Now you got to take that together. Look, it hurts. I swear to you, like, what are we doing here, y'all? What are we doing? Now that's going to affect her shooting, her passing. A player is never going to want to come out, especially a young player. It's ridiculous, y'all. That chick should have never been in the game. That's negligence, y'all. That's negligence.
Hopefully, that's nothing too serious for Olivia Miles.
No, it is serious because that's her main passing hand, right? What are you talking about? That's going to affect accuracy. That's going to affect shooting. That's going to make her apprehensive on defense when she wants to stick that hand out to get steals or to deflect. It's reckless. You know, people made the argument for Caitlin last night. I thought Caitlin needed to play 30 minutes because she needed to get her conditioning right. But once Caitlin started dominating in the first half, it made no sense for her to play the second half. It just didn't. And she could have got a massive knee injury.
Into Helms. 1 minute to go. Minnesota leading by 5. Vancouver has been a bright spot for Toronto today. Tries to flip it up, but Minnesota takes back over. Lynx will take advantage of the reset timeout, which is probably one of my favorite rule changes. I don't know why, I just love it because I just think it's quick, easy, it makes sense. You move everything, you don't have to gather and talk again. Let's just get to it. But it truly does serve as a reset. Yes, exactly. But it's going to be new to a lot of players who are on the floor right now, except for Laura Kosu. Go into
Nice!
pocket picked by House. 9 calls her own number.
Oh, that's called an escape dribble, y'all. That's called an escape dribble. It's not a step back, it's an escape dribble, which is what she needed. So that was a good look. That was a real good look. Nice, Lexi. Oh! But you like the effort. You love the effort. That's 2 great hustle plays from Lexi Held. That one just didn't work. Yeah. That one just didn't work. But yeah, Emma hooping. Emma hooping, y'all. She's hooping. 16 points, 6 rebounds. See, that's a good play from Lexi. Good play from Lexi. Just didn't work. But yeah, that was a nice shot from Aaliyah Nye. That was the right decision. Caught it, pretended like she was going to go in, and then hit her with an escape dribble. Shot it, got a good look, just didn't go in.
Both coming from Czechia, the same country, that have that level of familiarity with each other, just like Maria Klyunikova and also Olakosa last year from Russia. Makes a difference for those players. Looking at Minnesota's schedule, the home opener, the season opener is coming up against the Atlanta Dream. They will travel then to Phoenix and Dallas, take on Chicago and the same Toronto team on May 21st. Catch these games on.
Look at the dog. Look at the dog.
Look at that sweetie little dog. Little Sharpay in the building. Adorable. It'll be an interesting schedule coming up because I think a lot of those teams look a lot different than last year. So it'll be curious to see who gets off to a really strong start. I would say the only 2 teams you know for sure probably should have really strong starts are Vegas and New York, who have come back pretty fully loaded. I'm interested in Atlanta too. I think that'll be a very difficult test for the Minnesota Lynx. The talent they have here, like Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Joss Helping in there, like that. Great season last night. They absolutely did. A 2-second different shot. Game clock is 9. Will drive. She's thwarted, and Minnesota takes that.
So that's rough. Come on, Aaliyah. A nice shot IQ. Nice shot IQ. You could have hit her with a floater right there. You could have hit her with a floater right there. Okay? Or even before you got into the paint, when you curled like that, you could have came off of that and hit her with a runner. Right? So you had 2 options, a runner or a floater. That's shot IQ, but you got to work on those things.
Minnesota goes 3-0 in the preseason. Decisions still to come, but a lot of bright moments for the Minnesota Lynx as they wrap up all 3 preseason games. The final here against the Toronto Tempo, 73-66. I thought that was a fun preseason game. I think there was a lot learned. A lot of people played well. We saw some glimpses of some lineups that were really nice, and I don't envy the coaches for what they have to do next. And that's
wait a second. Are they gonna save? Are they gonna save the electric slide for the regular season? I think they're gonna save it for the regular season. Not yet. Yeah, not yet. They're gonna save it for the regular season. Just like candy. They're gonna save candy for the regular season, y'all. Yep. That's 2 games in a row we were expecting to see candy. And that's going to be for the regular. Look at Dorka. Yeah, that's going to be for the regular season. You're going to say It's going to take them time to learn that, too, the new players to learn that. Oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do candy. Okay, let's go. I thought they were saving it for the regular season.
And the tradition already picked up here for the preseason.
Get out of the way, Marina.
Williams is going to have to lead this game.
Get that chick out of the way. Move so they can do it. Come on. Hurry up.
Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
They must have gone through a rehearsal.
Better.
Back in front of the fans. It's that important.
Let's go.
Dance on preseason or not.
Let's go.
Here at Target Center.
I love it. But I figure if Lisa Collier can dance on this booth, then she's got to be feeling pretty good.
So that I'm not missing the first dance.
Exactly.
Over here. Maybe some rehearsed a little bit better than others, more cohesively than others, but they've got it. And Natasha Howard, she's right back to
Yeah,
it.
this is always a hard one. I'm thinking some of the overseas players may have not seen this, and then all of a sudden you're thrown in. That's not fair. Give everyone a chance to learn the dance.
Let's go. They did candy in the preseason.
Over the top.
They did candy in the preseason with the with a boot on it. They did candy. That's what I'm talking about. That's culture, y'all. That's team culture.
And I think it provided a much greater sample size for Coach Reed and her coaching staff to be able to evaluate. As we are joined by Kayla McBride, 3-0 in the preseason. What are your main takeaways from this game, this win, and the preseason overall that you've seen with the young talent?
Just our toughness, resilience, and just competitive nature. I think, whoever we throw in there, whatever mix, whether it's some vets with some young players, all young players, a little bit of everything, we're finding ways to win games. I mean, 3-0 says a lot about, a bunch of new faces and with me in court, really. So it's been a lot of fun, and, we're kind of taking it as a new challenge, and I think our young players are really bought in. I'm really excited to have these next couple 8 days before we have a regular season game to kind of iron out all the details. But I'm really proud of our group. It's hard to be in a new environment like this, and I think they.
Yeah, 8 days where Olivia Miles' finger, her pinky finger, could heal up. That's great.
Or some people just thrown out there and they don't know the dance yet.
No, we actually practiced in the locker room before. It was like a last minute thing. Like, oh shoot, we played the song in the locker room every day. Like, hey, don't embarrass us. You got embarrassed last year.
I love it. Okay, it's good to know. And Kayla, what would you just say overall? I have to ask you about Olivia Miles and what you're seeing so far from this youngster. She seems to be showing some signs of some real special things.
Yeah, super competitive, high IQ already. And once you get to feel for the game and how we were going to play her, it's going to be a lot of fun. Me and her and Court are still finding our cohesion. Now we added Tasha and Mia. So we're still trying to find that chemistry. But, overall.
Yo, let me tell you something. Kayla McBride is so dangerous because she has a Kobe Bryant game in the mid-range. I'm talking about go-tos, counters, pivots. I don't care what it is. She fadeaways, fallaways, step in, step throughs. She has a complete mid-range second level game on top of having a complete third level game, right? As complete as she can get it based off of athletic limitations at times. But I mean, just amazing, y'all. Like, y'all haven't even, now sometimes she'll show you, she was Kobe, y'all. We used to call her Kobe, the female Kobe, in terms of the mid-range package. And then she wanted to be like Steph and got a nice perimeter game. But she's so dangerous. She could break that out anytime she wants to. She could break that second level out anytime. Great game, great game. I'm not mad at Toronto. That's 2 preseason games we saw from Toronto where they fought tooth and nail. I mean, they just fought tooth and nail. All right, so Sunday is when all the big games come on, right? So they're unleashing it Sunday, as you guys can see, Sunday. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 preseason games Sunday. 3:30, Mystics, ATL. 5 o'clock, NY, Connecticut. 7 o'clock, LV, Dallas. And then at 7 o'clock as well, LA, Portland. So we got 4 games on Sunday, 4 preseason games. That's heavy. And then tomorrow we got Fever versus Nigeria. No excuse for the Fever to lose this game. I know Nigeria is going to pressure them crazy. They're going to pressure them crazy. They're going to try to make their name going up against Caitlin as well. So you'll see some players try to put up a bunch of points to get their name out there, but they're going to ball pressure the Fever crazy. They're going to pull up a lot of threes, put up a lot of threes. But we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see. The Fever better not lose that game. If they lose against Team Nigeria, no disrespect to Team Nigeria. If the Fever lose to Team Nigeria, the noise is going to get a lot louder, and the anxiety is going to be at an all-time high. So before I leave, we're going to do this the proper way. We're going to freaking do this the proper way, right? So let's go. What am I doing? Hold up, you guys. We are going to do this the proper way. The proper way. Gonna get this done. The Fever social media team is doing a good job. It's just that people are frustrated with the Fever. And yeah, so they don't really care about some of the quality stuff the social media team is putting out. They're kind of pissed. It's not as good as the one dude that left them, but it's really good work the Fever are putting out. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, let's go.
Sounds like fresh produce.
Hold up, let's go. Let's go. We're almost there. We're almost there. We are almost there. All praise be to my creator. That's it.